West, 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 West. This the West, 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 the West Coast. This the West, 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 the West, West. This the West, 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 the West Coast.
I am back, baby, and it's been a long 3 weeks. I've been off, guys. I apologize. I was busy as hell. I was a workhorse. I was working 3 jobs. I'm still working 3 jobs as it is, but I had some computer issues, and the last 3 weeks for me were an absolute mess. And I apologize, guys, but I'm back, and what a great time to be back, man. We got MLB postseason. Football is in full swing. Hockey just got started. Basketball is almost here, and man, it's a great time to be a sports fan right now. And today I'm going to break down the Division Series and the MLB postseason, and it's going to be awesome to break down every single matchup, and it's going to be great to watch beginning on Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to be awesome. So let's do it. This is the West Coast Mindset, episode 18. Your boy's back. It's go time. Let's get to it, baby. MLB postseason. Let's start it off with the first game on the schedule on Saturday. We got the Chicago Cubs going into Milwaukee to play the Milwaukee Brewers, and this should be a great one on TBS. And go check it out, guys. It's gonna be a fun one to watch. And we have a young upstart Cubs team led by Kyle Tucker and Pete Crow Armstrong, and they're a very young, energetic team, and they're gonna play a more of a veteran team in the Milwaukee Brewers, who still have some young players, but they have a couple of vets on that team with Christian Yelich and William Contreras and some of those guys on that team. And yeah, it's a pretty even matchup here. And it's gonna be a really tough series, guys. I really like the Cubs. They really impressed me in that wild card series against the Padres. Their pitching was lights out. The Padres offense really couldn't get going. And I love the vibe of the Cubs. They've always had a loyal fan base. Even when they went through the 108-year drought where they couldn't win the championship, but hey, when they won it, man, those Cubs fans were relieved, and they've been a loyal fan base for years, and they look happy to have another team that can possibly compete for a championship this year. And I just love the vibe of the Cubs right now. But if I was to pick a team to win the series, I'm taking the Brewers. I really like the Brewers in the series. I think they'll win it in 4 games. I just think they're a little too good for the Cubs. They were the first overall seed this year for a reason, and they had the best record in the entire league. They ran away with the NL Central, but this is the division matchup, 2 NL Central teams, so they know each other well. So it should be a good nip and tuck series. But I think the Brewers are gonna pull this off in 4 games. I love their bullpen. Their bullpen is lights out. They have a lot of guys in that bullpen that throw 98 to 100, and they have lights out stuff. Freddie Peralta, their ace, he's been through it before. He's a really good pitcher. I like him a lot, and that rotation is very, very good. And they saw Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich, he's not the superstar 40 home run, 30 stolen base guy that he once was with the Brewers when he was an MVP candidate every single year. He was a top 5 player. Injuries kind of took a toll on him for years. Yeah, he's their leadoff hitter now, but he's still a really good player. He had a bounce back year this year, and I like him a lot. They got Jackson Chourio. He's a young up and coming superstar. I like him a lot. He's got a lot of talent. It's his first postseason though, so it's gonna be interesting to see that if he can really come through under the lights and under the pressure of the playoffs. Because man, trust me, the playoffs, that playoff intensity is way more different than the regular season. So we'll see if he can live up to it. And they have William Contreras, one of the best catchers in the league, and yeah, I really like this Brewers team. I think they're gonna win the series, but don't call it the Cubs, man. The Cubs, I like I said, I like them a lot. They can make it a competitive series here. Pete Crow Armstrong, I love this kid a lot. He's a very, very good player, up and coming star in this league. Good power threat from the left side, speedy guy. He's a really good defender in center field, and I just love the overall vibe of the way he plays. Kyle Tucker, they traded for him in the offseason from the Astros, and he's fitting perfectly like a glove on that team. And he's gonna be a free agent though, so we'll see how far the Cubs go into this playoffs if he indeed comes back to Chicago or tries to go or wants to go elsewhere for big money. But he's fitting perfectly into that team. Seiya Suzuki, he's a very good first baseman, a slugger from the right side, and then they got Shota Imanaga. He's a good ace pitcher for them, and the Cubs are a good team, man. But yeah, I think the Brewers are just a little too good for them and a little too much of a veteran team for them, and I think they're gonna find a way to win this in 4 games. I think they're gonna win the first two in Milwaukee. The Cubs will get one win at home. I think they'll win Game 3, but I just think the Brewers are gonna find a way to win that game in Game 4 and find a way to shut it down in 4 games. And yeah, this should be a good one, guys. But if it goes 5, hey, I wouldn't be shocked at all because the Cubs have some fight, and they showed it in that wildcard series. So it should be a good one. Go check it out, guys. I got the Brewers in 4 games in the NLDS. Now let's move on to the second game on the schedule. We got the New York Yankees visiting the Toronto Blue Jays, and what should be a lit environment in Toronto in Rogers Center. And yeah, this was going to be a good series, guys. There's another division matchup, went from one division matchup with the Cubs and the Brewers to an AL East matchup between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Two teams know each other well. A historic franchise and the franchise in terms of championships with the Yankees against a team that has won 2 championships, but it's been a while since the Blue Jays really have been a great team for in the entire league, and they have a lot of star talent on that team. And yeah, the Yankees went through it in the wildcard series. They won it in 3 games against the Red Sox, and some dip and tug games. I was surprised that the Red Sox really made it that tough on the Yankees because the Red Sox really barely sunk into the playoffs as it is, and they to be honest, they were my World Series pick this year, but they had a lot of turmoil this year. They traded Rafael Devers, and I just didn't think that they really were gonna regroup as a team and get to the playoffs. But the fact that they made it is an accomplishment for them, so I'll give them credit for that. But anyway, the Yankees were able to beat them in the wildcard series, and yeah, now they're gonna play the Blue Jays in the first round of the playoffs, and it's gonna be interesting because the Yankees are motivated because they were chasing the Blue Jays all year in the AL East, and the Blue Jays, to their credit, they were able to hold them off. But this is a whole different vibe, man. The Blue Jays are a very good team, but they're a young team led by their young superstar and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's an absolute stud. I love him a lot. He signed a big deal this year, big extension to stay with the Blue Jays, and he is indeed the guy in that team. Bo Bichette bounced back this year in a huge way. He had a terrible year last year. I was surprised that he was that bad, but he's really bounced back this year. Dalton Varsho, I like him a lot. He's a very an elite defender in center field. He had a great year offensively, and they have a lot of good young players in Toronto with the Blue Jays. Their pitching staff is pretty solid, and yeah, I really like the Blue Jays in this series to really show something. But the Yankees, man, they're the Bronx Bombers for a reason. They got the reigning MVP and Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Cody Bellinger, former Dodger, former Cub. He got traded there in the offseason. He's fit in just well. And the Yankees, man, they're really, really good. This is a tough one. I really want to give the Blue Jays this series, but from what I've seen with the history of the Blue Jays the last couple of years, they've always disappointed in the playoffs. And I think it's going to happen again. I think the Yankees are going to find the way to win this series, being the road team. I think they're going to split in Toronto, and then they're going to win. They're going to win 1 game in New York, and I think it'll go 5. I think that the Yankees are going to find a way to win it, and they're going to take out Game 5 back in Toronto. And the pitching for the Yankees is very, very good. They got Max Fried, their ace pitcher. That Cam Schlittler kid, man, he really impressed in that Game 3 in the wildcard series, and he's confident going into the first round against the Blue Jays. But the Blue Jays have some sluggers, man, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they can do against him. And They got Luis Gil in that rotation. And yeah, the Yankees rotation is very, very good. Their bullpen, though, is the question. And I'll bring it up with the Dodgers in the next series. But similar to the Dodgers, that Yankees bullpen did not look that good against the Red Sox in that Walker series. And they've been a little shaky. I don't really know if Aaron Boone really trusts his bullpen as much. So it's interesting to see how that bullpen goes, and if the starting rotation can eat a lot of innings and keep that bullpen off the field from not too many innings. But the Yankees offense it's very, very good. Although Aaron Judge, you can argue he didn't have the best series in that Walker series, but he's Aaron Judge, and he does have a history of disappearing in the playoffs. I will say that, but I just think that he's going to wake up. He's going to be hitting in the hitter's park in Toronto, and of course New York. It's a great hitter's park over there. But Toronto, the ball flies in that ballpark. It's going to be very, very, very close. Two great offenses. But yeah, I just think that the Yankees just have a little too much experience, and I think they're going to find a way to win this in 5 games against the Blue Jays. I'm rooting for the Blue Jays, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for the Blue Jays. I'm not a Yankees guy. I don't like the Yankees. But if I'm gonna be objective, I think the Yankees will win this in 5. It's gonna be a tough nip and tuck series, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the Blue Jays will win, but if I'm be honest, yeah, I think the Yankees are gonna win this in 5 games. Check it out, guys. Second game on Saturday on Fox. And now let's move on to these series in the entire LDS bracket. We got the reigning World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers against the Philadelphia Phillies, and what should be a great one. And yeah, this is the series, guys. Shohei Ohtani is going to pitch in Game 1, and you know he's exciting. And this Phillies team, they're hungry. They have a guy who's going to battle Shohei Ohtani for the MVP, and Kyle Schwarber, who had a really good year himself. And Bryce Harper's back healthy. And that team in Philadelphia is very, very good. And you know that crowd in Philly in the playoffs is going to be lit. So it's going to be a great one, guys. But the Dodgers, man, they really showed up in that wildcard series against the Reds. And they showed their playoff moxie, flexed their muscles offensively, scored over 5+ runs a game in those 2 games. And yeah, the starting pitching was fantastic. But as we expected going into the playoffs, that bullpen, it's still shaky. Can you really trust it? I don't know, man. But they're still a very good team, and it's going to be good. Breaking down the Dodgers, first of all, yeah. If you're a Dodger fan, you got to be confident offensively that they were able to do that in the wildcard series, because now they're going to go on the road in Philadelphia with some hot bats. So that should be good. But they're facing Christopher Sanchez in the first game, and he's going to be a favorite for Cy Young this year. He had a really good year this year, and the Dodgers are a very left-handed team. So we'll see if they can try to get some runs off of him. But yeah, Mookie Betts has been outstanding. He's bounced back in the first couple games, and the last month of the regular season, after most of the year where he had by far his worst year of his career. And he's dealt a lot of adversity, and he's finally starting to show something. So he's confident going into the series. Shohei Ohtani, he's looking like the front runner for MVP again as a hitter and a pitcher, which is amazing. He had a couple of home runs in that wildcard series, and drove in some runs. So he's confident coming in. Freddie Freeman played well. We had a Teoscar Hernandez sighting. He played very well himself. So the Dodgers offense is going to be good. Dodgers pitching staff is fantastic with Shohei Ohtani using the pitch in the first game. Blake Snell was lights out. Yoshinobu Yamamoto was lights out as well. Tyler Glasnow's going to pitch in this series. Clayton Kershaw might start. Most likely he's going to come out of the bullpen. And they have a lot of good guys in starting rotation. So you gotta feel confident about the starting rotation. And the key for them is that the starting rotation needs to go at least 6-7 innings of start, because the biggest bugaboo and the biggest weakness for the Dodgers is the bullpen. And yeah, it did not show well. They gave up a lot of runs in that series against the Reds, which says something. And you're playing the Phillies, and if you're struggling against the Reds, this is not a good sign. Alex Vesia was not good. Emmett Sheehan, a guy that we thought was going to be a secret weapon out of the bullpen, he wasn't good. And Edgardo Henriquez, he couldn't throw strikes to save his life. He was absolutely terrible. And yeah, this bullpen is going to be a question mark. But the one thing is that they didn't show the entire bullpen. Kershaw didn't pitch in that series, and Blake Trinan looked good. He pitched in those 2 games and was pretty good. And looks like hopefully he might be back to his old self. But after seeing him most of the year, can you really trust it? I don't know. And then there's the Tanner Scott question. And we know Dodger fans, whenever you bring up that name, we cringe because Tanner Scott was an absolute disaster this year. Blew 10 saves. And is he going to be a factor in this series? It's going to be interesting to see how Dave Roberts manages that bullpen. But if there's one guy that we feel confident in to close out games, it's Mr. Roki Sasaki, man. He was absolutely dominant. And I get it was only 1 inning, but he was dominant in that second game in the wildcard series. Threw 100 miles per hour consistently at the knees. Nasty splitter, broke about 2 feet. I'm not even exaggerating. It broke about 2 feet. He threw it right down the middle, and it would break straight down. And yeah, that splitter was absolutely disgusting. And yeah, he's the biggest bright spot in that bullpen. But it's gonna be interesting, yeah, how Dave Roberts manages it, because yeah, it is not to be trusted. So the starting pitchers have to do their thing, and the hitters have to score a lot of runs. And it's gonna be interesting to see if Dodgers can indeed defend their title and get through the series, because the team they're playing, the Philadelphia Phillies, they are a tough team, man. As I said, Kyle Schwarber is gonna battle Ohtani for the MVP. Bryce Harper's back healthy and looks like he's back to his star status. Nick Castellanos is a very good slugger. Trey Turner's back and healthy for them, former Dodger, by the way. He's back, and he's always been a very good impact hitter when it comes to batting average. He's a stolen base guy, and yeah, they have some good pitchers. That bullpen, unlike the Dodgers, their bullpen is very, very good in Philadelphia, and their starting rotation is pretty solid. Although they lost Zach Wheeler, that's a big question for them. They lost their ace pitcher in Zach Wheeler. So can Christopher Sanchez, who's masquerading as their ace, be the guy for them in the series, and really get some big innings and get some big wins for them in the series? But it's interesting, yeah, because the Phillies are the betting favorite. From what I've seen all over the betting houses, that they're the favorites to get to the World Series and win the World Series. So the pressure is on them. I've seen a lot of people are picking them to win the series. So the Dodgers might be able to play a little bit of keep away and be like, hey, like the pressure's not on us guys. The pressure's on the Phillies. The Phillies got to win this. So with the Phillies having the betting pressure on them, can they live up to it? I don't know, man. But you know me, I'm a Dodger guy, and I picked the Dodgers to get to the World Series and win the World Series again this year. I think the Dodgers are going to win this in 4 games. I think that they're going to get a split in the first 2 games in Philadelphia. I think that they'll win game 1. I think they'll lose a tight one in game 2 because home teams, when they lose game 1 in the playoffs, they always find a way to bounce back. So I think they'll win game 1. They're going to lose game 2, and they'll win the next 2 in LA and win it in 4 games. But they're going to be really tough, close games, because, as I said, this Dodger bullpen, it's going to be interesting to see what they can do, because I'm not confident. Other than Roki Sasaki, I'm not too confident in anybody else out of that bullpen. So this has to be Dave Roberts' best managing job in terms of running the bullpen. So it's going to be nip and tuck. It's going to be a really good series. Like I said, this is by far the best series of this first round. And a lot of star power with Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman. It's going to be awesome, guys. I'm so excited. I'm going to be nervous as hell, too, as a Dodger fan as well. But yeah, the Dodgers will hang on and win this in 4 games, and they'll move on to play the Brewers and the LCS, and which should be a great one too. So keep it locked, guys. Watch this series. It's gonna be a fun one. And let's close it out with the final game on the schedule. We got the Detroit Tigers taking on the Seattle Mariners, and what should be a great home field advantage for the Mariners. They're excited. The first time they won the AL West since 2001, which is crazy. 2001 when Ichiro Suzuki was a rookie. But yeah, they finally won the AL West, and they're a division champion, and they're hosting a first round series for the first time in a long time. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome. The Mariners have a very, very fun team to watch. I really became a fan of watching them this year. And they're facing a Tigers team who I didn't think would be here at this point, honestly. I thought they were going to be dead in that Walker series against the Guardians. But I'll give them credit. They showed up and really showed their moxie and played well against the Guardians, because they have by far the biggest collapse I've ever seen by a division leader. They blew a 15.5 game lead in the division to the Guardians and lost it in the last couple of weeks of the season. But hey, as I said, they bounced back in a huge way, beat the Guardians in Cleveland in that Walker series, and yeah, they were very good. And yeah, I give a lot of credit to AJ Hinch and Tarek Skubal and those guys in the way they were able to bounce back. But they're facing a really tough Seattle team, and I love the vibe of this team. They got the guy who I think should be the MVP and the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Had a lot of big records this year. Broke the record for home runs by a switch hitter. Broke the record for home runs by a catcher with 60 home runs. Drove in over 120 RBIs. Was by far the best player in the American League this year, and I think he should be the MVP. Although a lot of people are questioning that it should be Aaron Judge, because yeah, Aaron Judge is the batting champion in the American League. Hit over 40 home runs again. So it's going to be a very close race for who should win the MVP. I think it's Kyle Raleigh, but that's just my opinion. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, he's on the team, and yeah, he's a really good player. Julio Rodriguez, although you can argue he's a little overrated, but he's a superstar in this league. A very, very exciting player in center field, power, speed guy, and yeah, he vibes well with Kyle Raleigh in that lineup, and I like him a lot. Randy Rosarena, he bounced back in a huge way this year. He had a bad year last year, but he's had a really good year this year. He's a really good slugger, outfielder from the right side of the plate. Good defender, and just a great energy player, and I like him a lot. And they got Eugenio Suarez. They got him back in the trade from the Diamondbacks. Is a good right-handed slugger from the right side. And yeah, I really like the Mariners in this series, guys. This is one that I think is going to be a lopsided. I think the Mariners are going to win this series in a sweep. I think they'll win the first 2 games in Seattle, and they'll win in Detroit. Although Tarek Skubal is a very, very good pitcher. He's one to be feared. I think it's between him and Paul Skeens for who's the best pitcher in the entire league, and he can make a difference with the way he performs. But I just don't know about this Tigers team overall as a unit. I don't think that they're ready to go into Seattle and get a win on the road, and I just don't know if they can get a win at all. I love this Mariners team. If I was to pick a team out of the American League to get to the World Series, I think this is the team. I think the Mariners are destined to get to the World Series, and it starts off with this series here, and I just love the vibe of their team. Their starting pitching staff is very, very good. Their bullpen is very, very good, and yeah, I just love the vibe of the Mariners here. I think they'll win it in a sweep, and yeah, it'll be great for them because yeah, they're gonna be moving on and get some rest, and play the Yankees, who I think will win it in 5 in their series. And it's interesting to see. Yeah, they're a younger team playing the Yankees in my prediction in the next round. And it's interesting to see if they can win that series, not being a very experienced team, because the Bronx Bombers, they're a veteran team, and they have experience. And when it comes to playing in the LCS, it's going to be a very nip and tuck fight. So yeah, I think the Mariners will win this in a sweep. Good luck to the Tigers. I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully it's a better series. But just from what I just think the Mariners are gonna dominate the series and do some good things and move on to the LCS. So watch the games, guys. This is gonna be a fun schedule, and we got a mix of MLB playoffs and football this weekend. It's gonna be a great sports weekends, guys. I'm excited. I'm gonna go to watch party and watch it with a couple of friends, and yeah, it's gonna be just an awesome sports weekend, guys. I'm glad to be back. And a quick update on me. As I said, I'm working 3 jobs now. I'm doing a lot with Roundtable Sports. I'm doing the broadcasting stuff there. I'm now a production guy now there too. I do a job in terms of helping them upload videos and do some stuff behind the scenes, and that's a lot of fun. I also do the broadcasting stuff. I'm doing stuff for the Saints. I'm a big presence now on their social media. I'm getting paid by them, and yeah, it's just a great opportunity for me right now, and I love what I'm doing with them, and yeah, it's just been great. And then doing this as well, yeah, my life is great right now, guys. I love what I'm doing, and yeah, it's only on the up and up as I speak. You know, it's a great experience. I took a leap of faith going into the media business, and yeah, it's just been a great decision, and I'm glad that I did this. And yeah, the vibes are high, man, and sports are at their best right now, and I'm living life right now, and yeah, things are great, guys. So check out the games. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. And this was the West Coast Mindset, episode 18. I'm glad to be back. I'll see you guys next week.
This the West, 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 West. This the West, 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 the West Coast. This the West, 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 the West, West. This the West, West, West.